Hello, everyone, and welcome to In 7 Days Learn 7 Ways Hypnosis Can Transform Your Life. Today, we are on day 3, and we're going to be talking about how hypnosis can improve your relationships and your communication. And I see that we have Allie in the house. Welcome, Allie. Okay, and I want to welcome all of you who will be joining us live or who are viewing this at a later time. Thank you for tuning in. And as always, I welcome your questions. So if you have any questions about anything that I'm saying, please definitely let me know. You can put the questions in the Facebook group, tag me, or on YouTube, and I would definitely love to answer your questions. So, my name, for those of you who may be tuning in for the first time, is Nancy Deutsch. I'm a licensed clinical social worker and a certified hypnotherapist and an intuitive coach. And I combine my counseling, coaching, and intuitive abilities to transform women's lives, to take them to the next levels of their intuition, income, and impact. And I'll also be starting training programs, but more about that at another time. So, how does hypnosis improve your relationships and communication? Well, first, let's talk a little bit about what happens in relationships. Now, first of all, I want you all to know that everyone, see, that's true, everyone, in some way or form, excuse me, in some way or form has relationship issues. And even though, excuse me, and even though you may have you may be able to have good relationships and healthy relationships, there's going to come a time where you're going to get triggered. And what I mean by triggered is you start reacting and you have an emotional reaction. So, what your job is when you have that emotional reaction, you want to understand the cause of the reaction. Where is it coming from? Because most of the time, especially when you're having an emotional reaction at a proportion to the situation, it is not coming from your present relationship. It is actually occurring from a past experience. And so you want to understand what is going on so that you can then heal that pattern, clear it, and then make decisions on how to help your relationships. So let me give you an example. Let's say you're having a conversation with a friend or a spouse, and all of a sudden the person says something, and they have a tone of voice, an edge, and you start getting really angry. And you're like, okay, whatever that person said or did really triggered you. Now, for example, very often in relationships, sarcasm happens. Someone in the relationship becomes sarcastic and says, I was only kidding. But the truth is, underneath that sarcasm is anger. So whether you got triggered by the remark or you're feeling angry by the sarcasm, whatever the issue is, it's understanding what the anger, where the source of that anger is. And so, what I do when I'm working with a client is I have them go back to perhaps the first time that they felt angry, that they got triggered in that way by something that someone said in a sarcastic way. Let's take that. And very often, the person will go back to a time, maybe they were 5 years old, and their father said something very sarcastic to them, and they felt really hurt. But you couldn't say anything or cry because it wasn't okay in your family. And then what I would be doing in the hypnosis is we would be working with that little 5-year-old and healing that pattern, healing that memory, and then having that person, then once the energy is healed, then we discuss what kind of communication needs to happen with the person in present time. And so we would talk about, sometimes what I have clients doing is I actually have them having a communication in the hypnotic trance with the person that they need to communicate in present time. So let's say it was your partner and you say, I felt, this is healthy communication. You want to use feeling words. I felt when. So I felt really hurt because underneath the anger was really hurt. I felt hurt when you said that sarcastic remark. And the more specific, the better. So that the person, your partner, would hear you. And the more you say it, owning your feelings, and you say it in a way that's healthy and appropriate, the more likely you are to be heard. And that's what happens, and how hypnosis can help you transform and improve your relationships and your communication. And I'd like to share a little story. I have a client, I'll call her Emma. And Emma started with me and she was so furious at her husband. She so angry, ready to get a divorce. And we started working on the trauma. We started working on those patterns and the anger and the source of the anger. Now, it wasn't just one experience, it was many. And we continued to work on those patterns. And what has happened, and then I taught her that healthy communication. And so what has happened is that Emma is now able to communicate in a clear, healthy way with her husband so that he hears her, and their relationship has improved and they've gotten closer and more intimate. And now they're happy she chose to stay in that relationship because she did her work, which transformed the relationship. And that's the power of using hypnosis and other tools to transform relationships. So if you have any questions about anything that I've said, please feel free to type them in. Let me know. You can tag me at a later time. And tune in tomorrow for day 4 of navigating, managing pain, and promoting healing. So day 4 is managing pain and promoting healing. So tune in, and I look forward to connecting with you soon. Have an inspired and empowered day. Bye for now.